Harper Wave and HarperAudio present The Gut-Immune Connection, How Understanding the Connection Between Food and Immunity Can Help Us Regain Our Health, by Emeran Mayer, M.D., read by Charles Constant. A note before we begin. For a list of recipes and resources, don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider, or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/audio/The Gut Immune Connection. Introduction. In my last book, The Mind-Gut Connection, How the Hidden Conversation Within Our Bodies Impacts Our Mood, Our Choices, and Our Overall Health, I detailed how the brain and the trillions of microbes living in our gut communicate in ways that profoundly influence our brain, our gut, and our well-being. I came to this perspective after 3 decades spent as a gastroenterologist, studying brain-gut interactions in my patients. But the world of research, and the world at large, has changed dramatically over the last 5 years. While microbiome science has continued to grow exponentially and many human studies have confirmed earlier preclinical findings, our unfolding multifaceted public health crisis has engulfed a large proportion of the U.S. population and many countries around the globe in an epidemic of obesity and compromised metabolic health involving not only the brain but many other organs. At the same time, as I wrote this book, the world was plunged into a pandemic in which an invisible microorganism took center stage and brought many segments of society to a sudden halt, painfully demonstrating the ingenuity and almost unlimited power of microbes. Even though I've long held a holistic view of life, my scientific career has ultimately taken me full circle, from a reductionistic focus on the biology of brain-gut interactions back to the concept of the interconnectedness of the health of humans and of the environment and the microbiome, with diet playing the key role in these connections. To understand its complexity and to identify a way out of our current crisis, this concept comes with a requirement for an ecological and systems view of food, health, and the environment. A conversation is constantly unfolding within us, influenced by our thoughts and emotions, our lifestyle, and the food we eat. The exchange between these factors occurs as a circular process, in which the brain influences the gut microbial signals, which then feeds back to the brain and body. Miscommunications in this system are accompanied by a compromised regulation of the millions of immune cells located in our gut, the gut-based immune system, resulting in a chronic, inappropriate engagement of the immune system. This chronic immune activation not only can increase gut permeability, but it can spread throughout the body, resulting in increased susceptibility to a number of chronic non-communicable diseases and disorders, including obesity and metabolic syndrome, diabetes and heart disease, as well as Parkinson's disease, autism spectrum disorders, depression, accelerated cognitive decline, and ultimately Alzheimer's disease. As we learned in the current pandemic, a compromised gut-based immune system also leaves us vulnerable to susceptibility and severity of viral pandemics like COVID-19. Over the last decade, disorders such as these, all related to altered brain-gut microbiome interactions, have seen such a steep increase in prevalence that they've now reached public health crisis levels. The dramatic numbers not only illustrate the scope of the problem, but also point toward the interconnectedness of many, if not most, NCCDs. While our healthcare system, with the help of the pharmaceutical industrial complex, has been able to keep the mortality from these diseases steady, or even reduced for some of them, their overall prevalence continues to increase in younger people and in developing countries around the world. This is where the ideas of network science and systems biology become critical. This universal conceptual approach has become essential to understand biological interactions, all the way from molecular gene networks and microbial networks to disease networks and large-scale interactions within natural ecosystems on the planet. What initially may sound like esoteric theory has in reality become an important scientific approach that offers a critical, holistic understanding of health and disease. Let's take the communication between the plants that we eat and the soil they grow in, which incidentally has its own extensive microbiome, as an example. Microbes living in the soil interact with the root system of the plants.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?